Hello, folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep podcast. This is episode 54. My name is Ruth, and I will be hosting the shenanigans here for the next half hour or so. Welcome, everybody. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. I hope you find something that resonates with you. And if you are a longtime viewer, welcome back to my channel. It's been a few days over 2 weeks. Usually I come here every 2 weeks and kind of share what I've been crocheting, knitting, spinning, and what I get up to in and around the farm here in Vermont. I have a small sheep farm. I only have 4 sheep, but they are a true spinner's flock. And we also have some chickens and my old dog Cooper and my old cat Dora. That's who lives here on the farm, along with my husband, of course. And so I like to share what I do with crocheting and knitting with all of you, and I always welcome comments. I love hearing from you, so please, if the spirit moves you, I'd love to have an interaction with you and see what you're up to. So we are fresh back from Labor Day weekend. We were away visiting family for the 4 days. It was like Friday night to Tuesday morning type deal, visiting 2 sets of family, my husband's family and my own family. My family is in New Jersey and his is over the border in Pennsylvania. We got to visit Ed's great nephew, my husband's great nephew, at his 2-year-old birthday party. And they live in Bristol, Pennsylvania, which I didn't know until I visited. It was founded actually before the city of Philadelphia, so it has a kind of a longer history than Philadelphia. We always think of Philadelphia as a historical seat of our country, and it is, but other little towns around there were incorporated before Philadelphia was. And so Bristol has a lot of history, and it has some architecture that's really fascinating and neat. And we took a little walk down by the riverside. It's on the Delaware River. And I did take a little bit of footage there, which I will share at the end of the podcast. So if that's not your jam, you can just kind of tune out before that. But I find, as I get older, the older buildings and just the way they're presented is really fascinating to me. So I did take some footage and some pictures there along the Delaware. So I will be heading out for another getaway next weekend. My husband and I are going to Nova Scotia and taking Cooper with us and joining some friends in a Airbnb up there. So I'm really looking forward to that. So the next podcast might be a couple of days later than usual, just because of the travel and getting back and that sort of thing. But looking forward to visiting our Canadian neighbors. Without further ado, I am going to jump right into what I've been doing crochet-wise. I have a couple of finished objects for you to show you, and also some plans in crochet that I want to start. So it is feeling like fall here in Vermont. And we had some rain yesterday, thankfully. We've been in quite a severe drought, and I've been carting water to my garden, which is still trying to produce something. I have some tomatoes that are not in the garden. They are outside of the garden, which have produced, the tomato plants have produced some tomatoes. So I'm very thankful for that. But the drought has really hit the garden. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get something. But anyway, that's my garden. I am going to jump into crochet. I have some finished objects. If you've been with me, I've been working on the Everleaf cardigan by Skuja. This is a pattern that is available right now on the Plyful.com website, which is Sandra Gutierrez's website. She's also known as Nomad Stitches, and she has kind of a subscription website, so every month it's about $7 or $8, and you get a pattern, and you can choose whether you want to download the pattern of the month from that designer. But Sandra has really done a great job of kind of curating different designers for her channel or for her site, and I encourage you to just take a look at it because it's nice to be exposed to all those different talents. But anyway, I have to tell you, I did get my cardigan done finally after weeks and weeks and weeks. So here it is. I am going to try to put footage of me kind of wearing it so you can get an idea, of the full length. I'll put it on right now. And so as you can see, I love the fit of this. It's really nice. But you can see all the texture in this cardigan, which is Linda Skuja's her big deal. And just turn around a little bit here just so you can see. You'll get an idea of the length in the back. The length is actually in the back is longer than the front. You can see the front's shorter. The one big criticism I have for the pattern is if you're going to crochet this pattern, I would recommend getting at least two, like if you're gonna look at the yardage, and this is Skipja's stone washed, and I did go with the recommended, or what Linda used in her pattern. I had to buy 2 more balls over the amount that was listed, and I think I even bought more yardage initially because I always anticipate, swatching and stuff, but I tore out my swatch. I used my swatch in this, and also I couldn't get the same dye lot, and if you'll notice, the sleeves are a different dye lot. The camera may not pick it up, but the sleeves start right about here, and so you can kind of see that there is a different dye lot there in the sleeves. I'm not too overly concerned about it. I love this kimono shape, and I love wearing it. Granted, I haven't worn it all that much because it's been kind of warm, and we're now getting into the fall season. But just beware that you probably will need more yardage if you crochet this. So I haven't put up finishing photos on Ravelry yet for this cardigan, but I do plan on putting that little caveat in the notes section that just buy extra yarn. If you have it left over, who doesn't like leftover yarn? But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating when you're getting towards, the sleeves and you realize you're just not going to make it. Like it's a big, huge loss in yarn chicken. So, but yeah, I love it. Highly recommend the pattern, except for that caveat. And yeah, so that's Linda Skuja's Everleaf cardigan. It is available on plyful.com. Probably will be available for public consumption, I would guess March 2026, but don't quote me. Usually Sandra has the pattern on the website for years, and then it reverts back to the designers. So I'm just going to put this on the back of my chair. And so that's my first FO. And so moving on, I have been making crocheted socks, and I'm happy to report this is my second FO, and here they are. Now, granted, these probably should have been done the last time that we spoke because crocheted socks fly off the hook. And I tend to do mine in tandem, which means that I will do this part, like the cuff, and on each. I divide the skein into 2 different balls. And then the beauty of crochet is you take your hook out of this after you're done with this cuff, and you go over and use your second ball to make this cuff. And then I went back and I did the leg down to the start of the heel flap, and went back and did this one. Of course, you know, switch back and forth. These are the Sakura socks by Vicki Brown Designs, and she is running a crochet accessories club right now. Yeah, they're meant to be kind of above the ankle socks. That's where they kind of hit. I found with these that I needed to go with the large when it came to the cuff so that I could get it over my foot. And then I found the first sock, when I got down to about here, where the instep and that sort of business, it was way too big. So I had to combine kind of size numbers. So up here I used the large size numbers on the pattern, and then down, I decreased down here in the ankle part to the medium size numbers so that I didn't have all this extra material sitting around the instep, you know, like this part of the foot here, the heel and whatnot. But that's the beauty of a crocheted sock worked from the top down. You can try it on as you go, and yeah, and adjust the fit so that it fits your particular foot. I love this yarn. This is Vicki Brown's own yarn that she dyed herself. She is a dyer. Let me see if I can find, I think I lost the label, but anyway, it's her sock yarn. This is how it looks in the ball. So see, I separated it into 2 balls here. And I think she put it here on the pattern even. Yeah, it's her standard sock, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, or any similar 4-ply sock yarn she recommends. So just 1 skein. As you can see, you can make it longer in the leg if you like, because I had plenty left over. And yeah, it took a D hook or a US 3 and 3mm for everyone else in the world. I actually am trying to really kind of switch my brain over to the millimeter sizes, because they make more sense, you know, because you can get a 3mm, 3.25, 3.5, 3.75, and you don't owe it. They're not always equated with the letters here in the US. So you get a better feel of what size needle or size hook that you're dealing with. So, excuse me. Yeah, my allergies, my fall allergies have taken hold. So if I start sneezing, then you know why. But yeah, I used a 3mm hook, and those are the Sakura socks. I'm so proud of these socks. I haven't blocked them yet. But, you know, there's 2 camps, you know, 2 camps of thinking, of thought when it comes to whether you block socks or not. Sometimes people just, you know, throw them on their feet and off you go. So, yeah, so real proud of those. Glad they are done. And here's some yarn for my Crochet Memories blanket. I had to whip that blanket out and do some progress on that. I have several balls from different projects just lined up, ready to go into that Afghan. So, all right. And then my third finished object is, this is the Octodot cowl. and the designer here is Veronica Ori. And this is also a Vicki Brown yarn, dyed yarn. This is her her sock weight yarn again, the 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. I got this. Every year she does a 100 skein kind of crowdfunding thing. So you donate the amount of what one of these would cost, and she challenges herself to make 100 different dyed skeins, like 100 different colorways, which is just mind-boggling to me. And then you can get it in this, the sock weight or a DK. And then she also kind of asks you, is there any color that, you know, you really don't like? And I think I said the last time, I just told her to surprise me. So this is what I got, and I really love it. And then this is just some black dyed yarn, sock yarn from the Unique Sheep. So I combined the two of them together, and they really look like a stained glass window. Now this has not been blocked, but as you can see, it's really cool. Yeah, I like it a lot. Just gonna flip it on here. So, and there you have it. It's really nice. Yeah, it fits really well. Yeah, you don't have to mess with it too much, you know. And it's nice to kind of just do this too on a real windy day and have it look nice and cozy, right? Yeah, so that, just so you know, is the Octodot Cowl. It is now a paid-for pattern. She was running a promo. Veronica Ori was running a promo for a while, offering it for free. But now it is a paid-for pattern, and that's what that one looks like. And obviously you can customize the size of it. I have plenty left over here, so I could have gone crazy and made the length a lot larger, but I kind of like the ones that sit up close to my neck and keep me nice and cozy under my winter coat. So it's also nice to wear around the house in case it gets a little chilly in the house and that sort of thing. So that is the Octodot Cowl. Highly recommend. Great pattern. I'm collecting crochet hooks as I go here. This one I used an F in US and 3.75 millimeter for the millimeter folks. And I have another empty bag. Yay! Empty bag here. Yay! So, all right. Moving on. I just wanted to update you on my springtime blanket. If you've been with me, you know I've been working on a blanket called the Springtime Blanket. I haven't made any progress since the last time. And what it is, I'll try to put a picture up of the actual blanket. It's done in like rectangles, and each rectangle has a different springtime flower on it. The actual kit is from West Yorkshire Spinners. And it's mostly, the yarn content is mostly lyocell, and then it has some wool blended into it, which is very nice. Has a nice luster to it. And yeah, so it's a nice take-along project. So if you have to go somewhere and wait or whatever, it's a nice project to take with you. So I am going to start to bust that out again. I just wanted to get a few of these smaller projects off the hooks before I got back to that one. But I wanted to share some future projects, some future makes, things that have been percolating in the white matter up here, or the gray matter. And the one thing I've been looking at for months now, I purchased at Rhinebeck in the fall. And it is this skein of yarn from Cozy Color Works, I think they call her. She calls herself. Yeah, Cozy Color Works. This is a huge skein of superwash merino. There's 1,100 yards in this thing. And I bought it specifically for a pattern. She had great marketing. Ahead of time, she put up a shawl. And this is the shawl on, I think it was Instagram I saw it on. This is the stem and petals shawl. And this shawl is designed for assigned pooling yarn. So if you see in this, it's mostly green, but then you've got this kind of beautiful streak of pulled dye in that area. And what you do when you come across that section of color, you make a special stitch. So, yeah, I really loved the sample. I liked this, but the green really captured my eye when I saw it in her booth. And her booth was crazy. There were a lot of people looking at her stuff, and this feels lovely. So looking forward to starting that, winding this up and starting the shawl. And then the second thing I'm looking at is another pair of crocheted socks, because I adored making those other ones so much. And one of the other designers I follow is Karen Hooley. She has a new book out called Socks the Crochet Way. I think I shared this the last time on the podcast. She had a 4-day, I want to say this right, 4-day sock challenge over the Labor Day weekend, which I had signed up for, but with visiting family and everything like that, I just couldn't manage it. But she challenged her followers to, let me see if I can show this to you, to crochet these socks in 4 days. So these are called Cozy Texture Socks from her book, Socks the Crochet Way. And they have a nice texture to them. And I thought I'd use some yarn that I got when I went to Canada the last time, which was in December, for the Christmas markets that were up there. And if you recall, I did some footage there too. That was a fun place to be, and really got you into the Christmas spirit. Highly recommend if it's in Quebec City. And yeah, we had a great time. It was very cold though, beginning of December, or actually mid-December or so. But at one of the Christmas market stalls, there was a lovely dyer of yarn, hand dyeing yarn, and her name is, I believe, Soars and Lina is her name. I'm going to try to, hopefully the camera will focus fine there. But yeah, this was a sock set of hers. She had several sock sets there. This is also 80% superwash, 20% nylon. And, you know, obviously the purple is for toes, heels, and cuffs if you like. And then this is for the body of the socks. So, yeah. So a whole, let's see, 2 times 50 grams and 1 time 30 grams, I believe she's saying on here. So yeah. So she separated it out, which is very nice. So I want to try and get those on the hook as well and get those chugging along. So that is my future makes coming at you. Stay tuned. And finally, I'm going into knitting. I don't have any spinning this time around because I've been just kind of working on 3 different projects. You know, I have 2 regular treadle wheels and I have an electronic spinner as well. And so I have 3 different projects going at the same time. So whenever the mood strikes me and whatever wheel I want to be on is where I gravitate. But hoping to show you some more progress there. I want to show you my progress in knitting, however. And the first thing I wanted to show you is the Sunday morning shawl, which I showed the last time. And quite a bit more progress here on this. I've been trying to chip away at it. This is the, let me see if I can find a picture of it. This, let me see. This is the Sunday morning shawl, kind of half of it. You can see there's some nice texture here, a bobble row here, and then some ribbing at the end. I am making mine in my own farm yarn. This farm yarn is the last of Maple, who no longer is with us. Maple was a Shetland Romney cross, so you'll see that the yarn has quite some luster to it. I don't know if the camera picks that up, but so here is where I'm at. And this has obviously stockinette interrupted by a kind of raised rib, twisted rib they call it in the pattern. And there are 6 sections of the stockinette, and I am on the 6th one, hard to tell. It's right after this section here. So this is number 6. And then I start the bobble section, which should be fun, and I am going to do the bobbles. And then there's the ribbing section at the end. So, but these rows are getting quite long. There's over 300 stitches on my needle right now. And I will eventually get to, let's see what it says, 453 stitches. So getting there. Right now I'm somewhere in the ballpark of 300, and I want to say 40 or so, 40 or 50. This is kind of a DK weight yarn here that I had mill spun. So yeah, I should really make that distinction. I did not spin this myself. This is a mill spun yarn spun in Vermont. And I'm really loving it. It's just gorgeous. This was the right thing to do with this yarn. You know, it's lovely when pattern, yarn, and the maker click all at once. So, yeah, so that's the Sunday morning shawl. The pattern is free from Espace Tricot, so you can get it on Ravelry for free. The designer is Melissa Cowl. And yeah, very well-designed pattern and good for the adventurous beginner. And I only say that because there's increasing involved in every row, so you really need to kind of just be mindful of that, and that's what stitch markers are for. So, and then finally, last project I wanted to show you is I finally started my Brookdale vest, and this is a pattern by Elizabeth Smith of Elizabeth Smith Knits. And let me just get organized here. Planning, right? I feel like I plan, and then I get to the camera and I am not planned. So anyway, that is the Brookdale vest. And I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but this is a lovely vest. It has some texture going up the opening and texture at the bottom, and then the rest of it is stockinette. And I am doing mine in Briggs & Little Heritage, which is kind of a heavy worsted weight yarn from Briggs & Little, which is a Canadian company. So here is the yarn. I'll show it to you. This is a beefy yarn. Yeah, it is a 2-ply, 100% wool from Canada. I believe it is spun in New Brunswick. Yeah, York County, New Brunswick, Canada. Comes in a lot of different colors. And here is my progress so far. Now, this is another one where you have a lot of stitches on the needle. It does have some lovely shaping though, so as you work from the bottom up, the stitches decrease. So you get some nice waist shaping. But let me show you. This is kind of the front. So you can see that lovely texture here along the edge. She puts a small band of garter stitch along the edge here, garter stitch along this edge, and then stockinette here. And then of course here is the other side. I think the thing about this stitch is, this textured stitch she has, it also looks pretty cool on the back. So yeah, if you want to turn it around, you know, and kind of wear it reverse, you could. Yeah, so this is a really cool make, and making slow progress on that only because the rows are quite long. But that's okay, and you know, there's no sleeves involved here, so it should be a quick make. But I'm glad I got that casted on finally, because I had done the swatch for it quite some time ago, and then it kind of, you know, sat and marinated for a while before I actually got to casting on. I'm usually not that way. Once I have the swatch down, I want to cast on right away, but not with that one. So yeah, and then one more thing I wanted to share with you was an acquisition. I got this week, and this is another crocheted sock book, fairly new, and it is by I'm just going to show it to you. This is Crochet Socks That Rock, and I'm going to butcher her name if I say it, so I'm just going to hold it up to the screen so that you can get kind of an idea of how you spell it and how you possibly can pronounce it. This is a beginner's guide to quick and comfortable crochet socks. Lots of color work in this one, and it's wonderful. She goes over the anatomy of a sock, and there are 11 different patterns in here for socks, and it just caught my eye when I saw it, and I had to have it. So there you go. So there's a wonderful mosaic design on the front cover. I'll show you the back cover too. These socks are actually done in West Yorkshire Spinners sock yarn, and I love the stripes and dots here. And then here's another colorful one too. So I am really kind of stoked about this, about these patterns in here. I haven't taken the time really to kind of soak it all in, but I wanted to share it with you. These socks too, with the trees on, very pretty. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, maybe in the future you will see some of these come off my hooks. So here's a nice cable textured one. I love it when a new book comes out, don't you? I mean, I'm like, wow, this is great. And, you know, right around the time when I've got kind of a crochet sock jam going on. Yeah, I'm just kind of, you know, like all of the planets have aligned in the universe. So here's another one. Great. I love sharing these things. So if you crochet socks, let me know. Leave me a comment down below. I have so much sock yarn that I think this is the way I'm going to go with it, you know, is to crochet some socks. So since these ones are perfect, right? So that is going to do it for me this go around. Like I said, I'll probably be back in 2-ish weeks just because of the trip and all that, but hope to have some really good footage for you from that outing. And until then, keep crafting, stay safe, and I will talk to you soon.